I cannot help but feel a little bit more hyped every time I think about Signature closing in, and so I decided now would be a good time to make a little video to describe how you can recognize what Chronicle you're looking at when looking at old PvP videos. The reason I want to do this video specifically is because you may think you're looking at a certain Chronicle, but it may not be the case. So I found very easy ways to distinguish the Chronicles, and for both Chronicle 4 as well as everything else, I feel would be very useful for people to have a little guide to what they're looking at. I'm not going to be exhaustive over like every single specific difference. Of course, I can be like, oh, you've got these skills from this Chronicle, you got those mechanics from that Chronicle. Like, I'm just gonna point out the few distinct things which are unique to a specific Chronicle that you can identify it with pretty much immediately no matter what video you're looking at. So let's get into it. Chronicle 2 can be easily identified by its old user interface, and that's it, there's nothing more to it. This interface was not used beyond Chronicle 2 at all, so if you see this interface, that's to tell that it is Chronicle 2 or earlier, because again, I don't know what Chronicle 1 actually looks like. Chronicle 3 updated this user interface. It's still the square style that we've all become used to for the old game, and it's directly identifiable by the narrow CP bar. Chronicle 3 introduced CP, and it's the only Chronicle that had the CP bars be this small and narrow. Chronicle 4 is recognizable by having wide CP bars. The CP bar was made the same size as the HP and the MP bar. But it was also the last Chronicle before the clan ranks were updated in Chronicle 5, so if you see the big CP bar, but without any clan rank in the target window, that's a telltale sign this is definitely Chronicle 4. And Chronicle 5, of course, introduced those clan ranks. So first of all, you gotta see the little rank in the target window. And the main way to then differentiate Chronicle 5 from Interlude, because Chronicle 5 introduced the multiple hotbars as well as some other changes that were listed in the Interlude patch notes in Chronicle 5. For example, Dash had its duration increased from 10 to 15 seconds. That was done midway during Chronicle 5, even though it is listed in the Interlude patch notes. So the main way to tell Chronicle 5 apart from Interlude is that in Chronicle 5 you had the clan ranks, and you have this little symbol, like just one of the symbols in the party window. And in Interlude, the next one, it made the ability to make the party window smaller. So it added an extra icon with a hammer at the party window, which is unique to Interlude in turn. And this was done after all the other changes that were in Chronicle 5. So this is the easy way to tell Interlude apart from Chronicle 5. Of course, that means if the player that you're watching a video of is not in the party and he doesn't show any Interlude specific skills in the hotbar, it becomes nearly impossible to tell, but thankfully most videos include at least one clip of someone being in the party, so you can tell. Continuing on from that, Chaotic Throne 1 Camel obviously introduced a brand new UI. It can be recognized by having this UI, but not having combo buffs, which were introduced in CT1 Hellbound, CT 1.5 Hellbound, which in turn can be distinguished from Gracia, because Chronicle Throne 2 Gracia introduced the Vitality bar next to the Experience bar. After Gracia, I don't know, I kind of lost interest in the game at that point, so I have not kept track of what specific changes were made after, how to differentiate Gracia Final from Gracia Epilogue, from Freya, from High Five. I don't know. If you're into those expansions, that's up to you. I like the old game. So that's what I focused on trying to figure out, just to pick apart all the different. So now if you ever want to do some research on your own class or whatever, you can recognize what version of the game you're actually looking at without having to dive into more ridiculous things like going to damage numbers to see if it's Chronicle 5 from the crit damage or Interlude, or having to see if you can spy someone showing a new skill in their hotbar somewhere that was only to Interlude, which introduced mostly high-level skills, which makes Interlude pretty hard to tell if you're gonna looking at skills, because hey, I mean, it doesn't matter if the guy got a new level 79 skill in Interlude if he's playing with a level 76 character. Like, he's not gonna have that skill anyway. So, with all that said, yeah, I hope you can now recognize a little bit better what you're looking at, and I hope I'll see you on Signature.